Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video, I will show you how to connect a Ruby on Rails application to a Postgres database. So we will be creating CRUD APIs, create, read, update, delete. So yeah, let's get started. So as usual, I'll just first paste this particular command. So this will help me to create a Ruby on Rails application. I have already installed Ruby on Rails on my system. Now the problem is it has not been installed properly. That's why I need to use this rbenv exec before using any Rails command. But in case if it has installed for you properly, you can directly run Rails new and whatever should be your project name, and then just press enter. I'm just naming it as block, but like I said, you can name it whatever you feel like. Now it will just create this project for us. Now by default it uses SQLite, but we don't want SQLite. I've already made a video about SQLite as well, so if you're interested you can watch that video. But we will be using Postgres. Now here is my project. I'll just open it over here. Okay, now the next thing is we need to connect it to Postgres database, right? So the first thing which we need to do is I think we need to go to db, sorry, not db, I think it is in some kind of a database.yaml file. Let me quickly search for it. Let me search for SQLite. Okay, so I think over here database.yaml. So it is inside config database.yaml. So here I'll just make few changes. I already have one Postgres database running. I'm using NeonDB. Now this is not a video sponsoring NeonDB. It's just that I don't want to set up Postgres locally because it is a lot of pain. I know it is quite simple that you only need to install an application, but I don't want it to occupy space in my laptop. That's why I'm using NeonTech or NeonDB, whatever you call it, and I have just created one free Postgres instance. It does not require any credit card or debit card registration. So I have already created that particular Postgres database instance. Now here I'll change few things. So first here I'll just remove this. Okay, so inside adapter, so first what we need to do is here we need to write Postgres SQL. Okay, then we need to also write this encoding Unicode. Then pool is fine, Rails max thread, even I don't understand this is fine. Then SSL mode is required for me because NeonDB requires SSL mode. I think if you are hosting your Postgres locally you might not require this, so I'll just use require over here. Next, inside development there are few things which we need to send. So first I'll just remove this database. Okay, we need to enter database, we need to enter username as well, username over here. Then we need to enter password, then host and port. So port is 5432. Host you will have to enter it from your own Postgres database. I'm not going to show you mine, so you have to enter all these details, username and database as well. So I'll just quickly enter all these details and I'll come back and show you guys the next step. So make sure you enter your Postgres database name, username, password as well as host. Okay, so make sure you enter all these details. So the next thing which you need to do is you need to go to your gem file, and here we need to add Postgres SQL dependency. So it's quite simple. So here you can add it wherever you feel like is right for you. So I'll just add it over here. Okay, and then we need to run. So I'll just cd to my blog app. Okay, and here I need to run bundle installer. Now for some of you it might give an error because it requires another dependency. Okay, sorry, not installer, install. Okay, so for some of you it might give an error because it requires some brew dependencies as well. So it has already installed it for me, but if you face some kind of an issue, I only know it for macOS. I don't know how to do it for Windows. So if you face any kind of issues installing this particular two dependencies, so let me quickly show you what all other two dependencies with homebrew you need to install. So like I said, these are the two things which you need to install if this particular bundle install thing is not working for you. So first you need to install this brew install lib pq. Like I said, this is only for macOS. I don't know about Windows, sorry about that. Then here we have to use bundle config bundle.pg, all this stuff. So yeah, you can just copy paste these two commands. So yeah, if it is already working for you, you don't need to do anything. All right, so this is done. Now let's see what's the next step is. So first we need to create a model, right? So I'll just remove this. So again I'll just do rbenv exec rails generate model. Model name I'll give it as task. You can give it whatever name you feel like, and here I'll just give it some properties. So first would be name, which will be of type string. Then there would be description as well, sorry, which would be of type text, I guess. Yeah. Then I'm also adding a position, which would be of type integer, and one completed property as well, which would be of type boolean. Okay, I'll just click on enter over here. Now let it create it, this particular model for us. Again, like I said, okay, why did this fail? Okay, rbenv exec rails generate model task not load. Okay, I think there is something wrong with my database. So okay, so here I have added some tabs, so I'll just quickly remove those tabs from my database.yaml file. So I'll just show it to you. I'll anyways delete that database, so don't try to copy my credentials. So I think it was in config, right? Like I have forgot it already, database.yaml. So here I guess, so I'll just remove this, remove this, remove this, remove this, remove this as well. Should I enter some space? Okay, I think I was using tab. Let me try entering space. Command S. That's why I hate YAML. So I'll just try to run this command again. Like I said, I need to add this rbenv exec as well, because Rails has not been properly configured inside my system. But you can directly run Rails generate model. Okay, so this has been completed successfully. Then we need to do the migration. So I can just do rbenv exec Rails space db colon migrate. So this will actually create the table for us inside our database. Then what you need to do is just go to config. Then here you need to go to routes.rb, and here we need to just add the delete route as well. So what I'll just do is I'll just do resources. I mean the intel tasks. AI is pretty bad for Ruby on Rails. I don't know why. It's pretty good for other languages. So here I'll just do member do. Okay, and here I want this get space colon delete. I'll just do end, and I'll do an end over here. I'll command S to save, and if you go back to your terminal, here you can see the migration was also successful. Okay, then we need to go to app views folder. Okay, and here we need to create a folder called tasks. Now inside this I'll quickly create few files, and I'll add some code to it as well. And then because it will be HTML code, I don't want to go into that, otherwise the video would be very long. And also one more thing, just go to app controllers, and here also you will need to create one file called tasks underscore controller .rb. So I'll quickly copy the code for this and come back and show it to you what you need to do next. So like I said, first inside task I have created this delete.html.erb. So basically this would be helping us to create the delete endpoint or delete screen, which will help us to delete a particular task. So this is like a navigation bar going back to the main screen, and here you can see I have just created a form which takes @task method is of type delete, and here I am just asking the user whether they want to delete a task. If yes, then I just submit this delete task. Then there is this edit.html as well. Again, it has the hyperlink for going back to the main page, and inside edit task again I am taking a form which has this name, position, completed, and description. So we are getting those values first from this form task, and whatever the user edits and submits, we just call f.submit edit task. Then our index.html. So again, here we just create this back to home page of controller task action index. Then here you can see that we are just creating first table, okay, which is the header. Then we loop over all the tasks which we have, and then we display the task position, name, whether it is completed, and also the if I want to show, edit, or delete a particular task, I can use this particular hyperlinks as well. Then here we have this new html.erb. Here we have this link tag. Here I have another form. Here we just create one table, and we have it a name, so we display the name text field. Here we have the position text field. Here we have the completed checkbox, and here we have the description as well. Then here we have this show.html.erb. if I want to show a particular task, I mean, and then I can just use this back to list as well, where I'm just getting the task and just displaying all the details for a particular task. So yeah, hopefully you got the point. This is for delete, this is for edit, this is our index, which is quite big. Okay, and last is new.html, so this, and last one is show.html. Then you will need to go to application task underscore controller.erb, and here we have created all the endpoints. So first one is index, so we just fetch all the task and order it by position. Then we have the show to get the id and show a particular task. Then we have a new, so this will help us to create a new task. Here it is create, so this will help us to create a new task as well as render the new one. And here we have edit, so we just get the task which we want to edit. Here is the update, so once we have the task to be updated, we just update it. Then we have the delete task as well, task.find passing the params id. Then we have the destroy one as well, task.find passing the params id, and then we do task.destroy and redirect to task path. And here we have this task params as well, which we are using everywhere. So here we just do params.require passing our task, and we are permitting name, position, completed, as well as description. Okay, so yeah, that should be it. Now we just need to run our application. So yeah, now I think so, I hope I have not missed anything. So to run it, I can just do bin slash rails server. I can just click enter, and it should start our server in a few seconds. Then I can directly go to this particular url /task, and we should be able to see our page. So as you can see over here, I'm on 3000 port /task. Then if I want to add a new task, I can just click on add new task. I can just give it name as first. I'll just name it as 2 completed, and I can give it something. Click on create task, and here you can see it has created the task for me. If I go to neon db as well, I can just refresh this, so we should see our table as well as we should see the task been created. So here is our task table, and here you can see the task has been created. So similarly, I can edit this task as well if I want. I'll just name this as second. Okay, I'll click on edit task, and it should edit our task. So here you can see it is edit. If I go back to list, here you can see second. If I want to delete it, I can just click on delete task, and here you can see task has been deleted. I can add a new one as well. I'll just add something random, 3. Okay, I'll click on create task, and here you can see the task has been created, and the same should be updated in our database as well. So I'll quickly refresh. So okay, why is this not updated? Browse, I'll just click on browse data. Okay, I need to click on refresh. Okay, and here you can see the data has been updated over here as well. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.